Hey everyone, on today's episode of Billionaire Mindset Advice, I am pleased to introduce you to Andy Frisella. Andy Frisella is owner of Phorm, a supplement and nutrition company, as well as the host of the MFCEO Podcast. You can find access to the MFCEO Podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, pretty much everywhere fine podcasts live. Now, the reason why I'm so excited to introduce you to Andy Frisella is the absolute quality of this guy's story, the quality of his message, and the overall quality of his podcast. What I like about the MFCEO podcast is that Andy, he gives it to you straight. He talks about the true requirements of leadership. He discusses how to harness an executive mindset. He discusses the importance of positive habits, discipline, the power of grit, how to develop the battlefield mentality, the struggle necessary for success, tenacity, the importance of strategic long-term thinking, and how to develop mental toughness. He doesn't butter up the conversation so that you avoid hearing the uncomfortable truths. It's raw, it's honest, and it's like you're going to get a punch in the face of nothing but truth. So this video is a short curated list of excerpts from his podcast. Listen to it. Get some knowledge, and if you like what you hear, go follow him. Go subscribe to his podcast, leave a review, and share it with others. I'm really excited for you on this piece of content, and I'm really excited for you to hear this message, so stay tuned and keep watching.
You should take pride in the feeling of wanting to quit and not quitting, okay? You have to know, and this is how I think about it. When things get really hard for me, when things have been really hard for me, the hardest in my life, whether it be in my fitness, whether it be in my business, whether it be in any area of life, the one thing that I've always taken pride in is this. When things get hard, I don't look at it like, oh, dude, things are so fucking hard. That's not how I think about it. I reframe my thoughts to think about it like this. Hey, shit's really hard right now, dude. You're really struggling right now. But here's the thing. Right now is when everybody else quits. Right now is when everybody else is going to fall behind. Right now is when everybody else decides to do something that's easier or faster or not as hard. And that's what gets you ahead. That's what gets you to have pride. Because those struggles, those feelings, those things that are difficult, they are there to test you. And if you want to hear more about testing, you can go listen to Test Days podcast. I don't know what fucking number it is. Go look it up. But here's the thing. Those things are there to test us. And when we test ourselves on a consistent basis and we pass those tests, you have to think of it that other competitors, I actually visualize people that compete with me or try to be like me or try to take money off of my table or business away from me. And I think about them and I said, dude, would they quit now? And the answer is usually yes. And when I think of all those people quitting, I get energy to push through my struggle. I get happy about my struggle. I get ready to take more struggle in and chew that shit up and spit it right back out. You have to understand that struggle is a privilege. Hardship is a privilege. There's a lot of talk about privilege right now. Okay? And you can hear it from all different sides of the socioeconomic, political talk, white privilege, socioeconomic privilege, blah, 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 blah. Take that shit and stick it up your ass, because the real privilege is the one that you have. The real privilege is your hardship. The real privilege is your struggle. The real privilege is how long it's taking you and the lessons that you learn, because those struggles, those hardships, those things that people face will usually cause them to quit, and it brings you up. So if you want to create the type of energy that is magnetic, if you want to create the kind of energy that attracts other people, if you want to create super high confidence, super high self-esteem, super high momentum, okay, for lack of a better words, for yourself. That feeling, I'm super powerful, I'm invincible, I'm the fucking man, or I'm the fucking woman, I'm a boss lady, whatever the hell you want to call it. You have to take pride in not quitting when other people are going to quit. You have to take pride in executing your job to the very best of your ability. Now, you might be horrible at your job. You might be terrible. But taking pride in improving, taking pride in giving it your best, all of those things are what truly create what we're talking about here. That beaming energy and confidence that other people can just feel, that presence that they can feel when you walk in the room. That comes down to taking pride in your discipline. Okay? And most people never figure that out. Most people can't figure out why they don't feel good. Most people can never figure out why they only feel good when they dress up once in a while. They never figure out how to create that day in and day out for themselves, and that's why they lose. That's why they create situations of frustration that just hang on and stick with them for their entire lives. What is up, guys? You're listening to the MFCEO Project. I'm Andy. I'm your host, and I am the motherfucking CEO. What is a motherfucking CEO? I know some of you ask, and I know you wonder, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It's somebody who takes absolute control and responsibility for their life. It's somebody who doesn't let society tell them what they should be. It's somebody who goes through life doing what they need to do, the way they need to do it, and lives life with a confidence and a swagger that shows other people that it's okay to be you. Okay? Today, we're going to have a Friday Fire, and I want to talk to you guys about something that is so often asked of me, and I want to address it. A lot of times I have these motivational talks. Today, it's more about a practical thought that I want you guys to realize. Okay, I get this in my DMs. I get this in email. I get it a number of times. It's always a version of this. What do I do about my friends that don't believe in me? What do I do about, if I become successful and I lose all my friends? What do I do if I have these people who I'm around right now and then I become successful and then they don't become successful? And I want to address that with you guys and make you guys understand one thing. You have to worry about you. You have to realize that you came into this life alone and you are going to go out of this life alone. And the way that you're going to enrich and fulfill and feel good about your life is by doing the best that you possibly can for yourself. And that doesn't mean you're selfish. Technically, is that the definition of selfish? Maybe. But the reality of life is this. The higher you go, the more you evolve, the better you become, the more people are going to be improved around you. And that's a very noble thing, okay? So you can't worry about what your high school buddies are going to fucking think about you and, say about you when you're on this journey, because in the reality of how it works is this. You're going to start out with an idea, you're going to execute on the idea, and you're going to execute long enough on the idea that these people that you hang out with right now are probably not going to relate to you the same way they relate to you now. Your life's going to change, your income's going to change, what you do is going to change, and probably, if you're fortunate enough, your life is going to become so fucking cool that when you talk about it, other people who are from the old times of your life are going to perceive it as you bragging, when in reality, it's just your life. And let me tell you something. If you can get to a point where when you talk about your real life and other people perceive it as you bragging, that's not a bad thing, okay? You talking about the way you live, driving the cars you want to drive, going and doing the things you want to do, living where you want to live, is not bragging. That's just your life, okay? And the reason I bring this up to you guys is you have to understand that along the way, people are going to start to perceive you as a different person, and you are becoming a different person, and there's nothing wrong with that because life is about evolution. But the main point that I want to drive home with you guys is that people think that when they get to a certain point, they're going to be alone because this certain group of friends that they have or this certain group of family that they have now isn't going to be able to relate. But here's what happens, guys. You're going to lose some people. Some people are going to fall off. Some people are going to start not to like you. They're going to be jealous of you. They're going to talk shit. And they're not talking shit because they hate you. They're talking shit because they came from the same motherfucking place that you came from, but you were able to create something that they were not. That means they hate themselves. All right? So you can't take it personal, for one. And for two, when you evolve, when you become something else, when you become better, when you become further down the road on your goals and progress further and become this person that you desperately want to be on the inside and you're working your ass off to be on the inside, you are going to develop new relationships. You're going to develop relationships with people that complement those goals and become part of pushing you forward, improving. And ultimately, those relationships are so much more fulfilling because they are aligned with what you want out of your life. And it's hard for people to understand that because when they're at the beginning and they start to lose some people, they feel like, man, what did I do to lose these people? But you got to be patient. You know, we talk about patience a lot. You have to understand that as you go, as you move, as you progress, you're going to meet these new people, and these new people are going to bring new things into your life that the old people couldn't bring, and you're going to evolve. And everything about life is about evolution. It's about change. It's about moving forward. It's about growing. And let's be real. If you were loyal to the way these people thought about you from back in the day, you'd be just like them, which is not what you want. So you have to realize, guys, that saying it's lonely at the top is complete bullshit. That's what broke people say. That's what people who struggle in life say. That's the way they justify their lack of action. That's the way they think about, quote unquote, rich people to justify them staying exactly where they're at. Well, my relationships are more important and I don't want to fucking lose them. Well, motherfucker, you don't lose those relationships. You move and evolve and create new ones that are ultimately more serving, more beneficial, and more fulfilling for you. So when you write me these emails and say, Andy, I'm going to lose my friends, I understand what you're saying, but that's not the way that it works. So when you think about what you're trying to do and you start to think about the people that right now don't believe in you, discourage you, and tell you shouldn't do that and tell you, you know, that this is a bad thing to do or a bad idea or unrealistic. Now think about all those fucking people that tell you that. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be whoever. Now, what if you replaced every single one of those motherfuckers with somebody who said, dude, that's awesome. Let's do that together. Here, I know a guy who could help you do that. Here, I know this group that could help you with that. Oh, you want to become a billionaire? Dude, you need to meet this guy. And what if you replaced all your negativity with people who did that? What would your life be like? That's what you need to think about when you think about what you're going to lose and what you're going to gain. Because I can tell you right now, the relationships you lose are so worth losing when it comes to what you're going to gain on the back end if you decide to go down this path. So don't be loyal to relationships that hold you in the same spot. Be loyal to yourself, trust your own dreams, and move forward on your goals. And ultimately, those relationships will start to materialize that support you, drive you, and pull you along versus anchoring you back. What is up, guys? You're listening to the MFCEO Project. I'm Andy. I'm your host, and I am the motherfucking CEO. Guys, if this is your first time listening, welcome. This is a self-development, entrepreneurship, kick fucking ass podcast. And today is Thursday Thunder, which means I'm going to punch you right in the fucking mouth, which is probably what you need. And all I ask in return for that punch is that if you enjoyed the podcast, if you liked the podcast, if you learned something, if you were entertained, if you laughed, if you cried, if you shit yourself, share with a friend. All right. Today, I want to talk about something that has to do with entrepreneurs talking about opportunity. Okay. All the time, all the questions have something to do with opportunity. How do I get this connection? How do I get this opportunity? How do I meet this person? How do I do this? How do I do that? And let me explain to you how this works. Too many of you guys listening right now think because it's popular for a lot of these gurus to talk about the fucking cell phone in your hand that you could just click like and communicate and do this and that and this and that with all these people and develop these opportunities, which you can do. But in the beginning of the process, to become relevant, to become something, you've got to put yourself in motion. And I call this opportunity through motion. All right? You can't sit in your mom's fucking basement and type fucking statuses out all day and become relevant. You have to get out in the real world and do something. You have to get on a fucking airplane or get in a car and go meet people and shake hands and contribute and have conversations. You have to create things. You have to build things. You have to sell things. You have to do shit for opportunity to come to you. And that means doing shit before you see the opportunity, because far too many of you guys listening wait around for this fucking opportunity to fall in your fucking lap, and you want to think that, oh, well, when this opportunity opens up for me, I'll fucking start. No. You start way before the opportunity ever presents itself. And the way opportunities present themselves is by you going through the fucking motions of creating shit in your life. Okay? You're not going to wait around. You're not going to sit on your ass. You're not going to, the fucking opportunity stork isn't going to come and drop this fucking golden egg into your lap. It's going to happen from you shaking hands, making phone calls, sending emails, creating, doing, selling, contributing value. That's it. And you have to take the initiative. You have to do the work. You have to do the shit that is going to ultimately shape your journey to a point where other people take notice. And when other people start taking notice and you meet certain people that have the ability to create opportunities and you build trust and you build value and you build a relationship with these people, guess what happens? Then opportunities start happening. Then things start going your way. Then you've got momentum. It's opportunity through motion. You have to understand how it works. It's not something that, you see on TV and you see these fucking glory stories and you see this shit that like, oh, these magazine articles of people that have these billion-dollar companies and, they met this guy on vacation and they started working together and they had this tremendous opportunity to fall in their lap. That opportunity only fell in their fucking lap after years and years and years and years of edifying work, which means they created credibility for themselves so that the people with the opportunities would connect with them. And that's when the so-called opportunity or being in the right place at the right time happen. That shit doesn't just happen to average motherfuckers like most of the people listening here. Okay? It happens for people who fucking go out, take initiative, do things, create things, build things that other people take note. So don't sit around and wait for opportunity. Don't sit around and wait for things to happen. And I know this sounds like common sense, but it's not too fucking common because I get a lot of questions from people. They're saying, how do I link up with so-and-so? How do I link up with so-and-so? Look, motherfucker, I can link you up with all these people, but they're not going to pay attention to you because you haven't done anything. You got to do shit before opportunity comes to you. It's opportunity through motion. Don't fucking forget it. What is up, guys? You're listening to the MFCEO Project. I'm Andy. I'm your host, and I am the motherfucking CEO. Guys, normally on Tuesdays, we have a much longer podcast that's going to be, typically an hour to sometimes even 2 hours long. And those are very helpful, and I get that, and I know you guys enjoy those. But I started thinking over the weekend, what would be the thing that would provide the most value to you in the shortest amount of time. And I started trying to think about, some key phrases, some key ideas and concepts that I've used to, work through the process of building something or becoming better, becoming more successful in any area. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was something that my friend Mark Bell and I talked about a little bit on our podcast that we did a couple weeks ago, but more so on the phone. Him and I had hopped on the phone over the weekend, and we were talking about different types of training, and we were just kind of going back and forth and having some good conversations. Spoke for about an hour or so, and one of the things that we talked about was the idea of holding yourself accountable, okay? A lot of people nowadays and entrepreneurs, you follow all these entrepreneur guys and you hear them say self-awareness, and you go self-awareness, 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 and they say that over and over again. But how the fuck do you become self-aware, right? How do you develop that skill? Is it something you're born with? Is it something that you create? Is it something you can practice? And him and I were talking, and, you know, one thing that him and I have both done over the course of our lives without really realizing it until we kind of extrapolated it out by just talking to each other is something that's really simple, and it's really simple for me to teach you how to do this too, okay? We all have our goals. We all have big desires. We all have the things we want that we want to accomplish, but we also are realistic enough to understand that these things take time. There's a process to them. There's a level of patience to them. And there's a level of accountability on a micro level, on a day by day, hour by hour level that most people just don't fucking have, which is why most people never achieve their goals. So guys, what I want to teach you is a little phrase that I've used and a little phrase that Mark has used to be very successful in all areas of life. And it's something that you say to yourself, okay? And this is about, guys, holding yourself accountable. It's about taking a step back and evaluating what you're doing on an action by action basis, not even a time basis like a day, an hour. I'm talking about every little action. All right. And that's to do this. And this is something that I want you to bury into your fucking brain for the rest of your life. And if you can do that, you're going to find that your success comes a lot more quickly and a lot more easily for you. And that's to do this. When you're about to do something, when you're about to take an action, you need to ask yourself, how is this going to help me? How is this going to hurt me? Okay, how is this action I'm about to take going to help me achieve whatever goal it is I'm trying to accomplish? Okay, if that's in business, how is watching The Walking Dead for 7 hours a night that I just clicked it on Netflix, how is this going to help me get closer to my goal? How is this going to hurt me get closer to my goal? Okay, it's not going to help me, A. B, it's going to hurt me because this is time I could be spending on personal development, reading, watching YouTube videos, learning new skills to be successful, or working on my business. Okay, and if you learn, and let's say you're on a diet, you know, how is this extra handful of raisins going to help me? Is it going to help me? Is it going to make me more healthy? Is it going to help me lose weight? Is it going to help me be in a better spot than I am today, tomorrow? Or is it going to put me out of, you know, my caloric intake range? Is it going to, you know, be too much sugar for what I'm trying to do? How is it going to keep me from getting where I want to go? All right. And all these little things, guys, that people do basically mindlessly are what ultimately costs them their big dreams. Okay. Because your big dreams aren't built in one day. You don't just wake up one day and have a huge fucking bank account and wake up one day and you're ripped and jacked and tan and juicy as fuck. It doesn't happen. Okay? It's little processes along the way. And to control those little processes, one of the ways that you could become self-aware is to step back and coach yourself by asking yourself, how is this going to help me and how is this going to hurt me before every little action? All right? If you're on a diet program and all your friends are going out to fucking eat, you go out to eat and you're about to order at the menu, how does this decision help me? How does it hurt me? And do that on a micro level. Do it on a level that is consistent on an action by action basis. And if you can put that into your brain and actually question yourself before you make these decisions, guys, it's going to be a lot easier and a lot more effective for you to follow through on what the actions need to be for you to hit your goals. Okay, so that's the first thing. How can this help me? How can this hurt me? The second thing that I want to give you guys is a phrase that is very, very helpful to removing doubt in your goals, okay? And this is something that's very important. All of us set these big goals. All of us set these huge goals that we want to achieve. All of us are trying to do these big things, but we tell ourselves shit like this. Man, one day I'm going to be a millionaire, or one day I'm going to make $500,000, or one day I'm going to make $10 million. And we set these big goals. One day I'm going to own a Lamborghini. One day I'm going to be financially free, whatever the fuck that means for you, okay? And we set these big, giant goals. But then what we do is in our brain, we tell ourselves this, all right? We say, man, I wonder if I'm going to actually ever hit that, be a millionaire. Or I wonder if I'm actually ever going to be that guy who drives a Lamborghini. Or I wonder if I'm actually ever going to be that guy that's financially free and not having to worry about his bills. Or I wonder if I'm ever going to be a guy who owns, a $20 million company, or whatever your goal is. Or I wonder if I'm actually going to hit my 50-pound weight loss goal. And we start questioning ourselves, guys. And there's a problem with that, because when we start questioning ourselves, we're instilling doubt in our brains, and especially in our subconscious, that is keeping us from going full force towards the goal. All right? Is it easier to go towards a goal that you know 100% you're going to achieve and pour all your energy into it? Or is it easier for you to pull back and not put all your energy into it and all your resources and all your time and all your knowledge because you think it might not happen because there's a slight doubt in your brain? Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Because big goals, guys, they take big energy. It takes all your effort. It takes all your thought, all your focus, all your time. And for you to go all in, you've got to be able to remove the doubt. And so, guys, I want to teach you something that I learned along the road that really helped me remove the doubt from my goals. And you guys have heard me, if you've listened to the podcast in the past, you know that I 1,000% know that we're going to build a multi-billion-dollar brand out of Phorm. I 1,000% know that I'm going to be a billionaire one day. It's not a question. I don't doubt it. And I'm going to teach you how to not doubt your goals either, okay? This is how I do this. In a company with what I do on my daily critical task, which if you haven't listened to Win the Day, episode 107 of this podcast, you need to go listen to that and start practicing what we talk about there. But in addition to the critical tasks I perform a day, I also perform a critical mental task whenever I think about the big goals that I have. And that is, what I do is I don't doubt myself by saying, man, I wonder if I'm actually going to be able to build $1 billion company, or I wonder if I'm actually going to ever make $1 billion, or I wonder if I'm ever actually going to, get down to 245 pounds, which is my goal. That's not what I say to myself. My internal dialogue is not that way. My internal dialogue goes like this. I am in the process of becoming a billionaire. I am in the process of building a multi-billion-dollar company. I am in the process of getting my shit together and looking like the fucking Rock. I'm already doing what it takes on a daily basis. So think about your goals right now as I'm saying this, whatever your big goals are. And instead of saying, I wonder if I'm going to achieve them, say, I'm in the process of achieving them, and see how much better that feels to you. Okay? It's going to remove the doubt. It's going to put yourself in a position where you're able to push all your resources onto the fucking table, which is what it's going to take for you to achieve these big goals. So it's not just a mental, mind game that I'm trying to, tell you guys to trick on yourself. I'm trying to teach you guys how to let yourself go all in without hesitation. All right? I'm teaching you how to really, truly believe in yourself. And guys, it's extremely important, because if you don't have true, confident belief in your goals, and I mean from your heart, and I'm not even going to get into the metaphysical and quantum physical law of attraction, aspects of this conversation. I'm going to talk about the actual actionable aspects to what I'm talking about. If you don't believe in your heart, you're always going to hold some chips off the table. You're always going to hold back your true potential. You're always going to hold back what you could truly give. And guys, when you hold back what you could truly give, you're not going to get what you could truly get. And that's the problem. So stop wondering if, and start telling yourself you're in the process of, and then use the daily critical task to make sure that you actually are in the process of, So guys, those are two phrases that I think can really help you guys free up some of your positive energy and focus and get yourself on the right track. All right. Don't sit there and doubt yourself and think about all the things that you're doing. Ask yourself simple questions. Tell yourself simple statements. How is this action right now, whatever it is you're doing, is your action helping you towards your goal or is it hurting you? Okay, when you're about to put a big old pile of fucking French fries in your mouth, is it helping you or is it hurting you? When you're about to pick up the phone and make that call that you don't really want to make, is it helping you or is it hurting you? When you're about to go do cardio and you really don't feel like doing it, is that going to help you or is that going to hurt you? You know, when you're about to read that extra chapter in the book tonight instead of watch The Walking Dead, is that helping you or is that hurting you? And if you can learn to ask yourself on an action by action basis, you develop awareness of what you're doing. And when you develop awareness of what you're doing, you get into the process of executing on the right actions. And guys, the second part is you stop doubting yourself. If you're following through on the first part and then you're following through on what we talk about in episode 107, you can follow through. You could tell yourself that you are in the process of, because you are in the process of. You are executing on the daily critical tasks. You are doing the things that it takes more often than not that are going to help you versus hurt you towards your goal. And if you're doing those things, that's what matters. That's what's going to get you where you want to go. That means you are actually in the process of becoming whatever it is you want to become. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And you guys have to let yourself off the hook with the doubt so that you could truly believe and so that you could truly go in on all your resources in order to achieve your goals. So guys, that's my 2 points I wanted to share with you. I know it's a shorter podcast. It's not generally a motivation Thursday Thunder type podcast. It's a very practical couple things here. And guys, I want you guys to understand that, being successful, although it seems really fucking hard, it's really not complicated, man. It might take some effort. It might take consistency. It might take time, but the formula is very simple. All right. And guys, if you find value in this podcast, I'd really appreciate if you would tell a friend, tag me in, if you make a post for us, tag me in it so I can see it. Guys, I appreciate all the support. You guys are doing an amazing job helping grow the podcast. We don't advertise. We don't go out there and push it. We just rely on you guys to help grow it organically. And I just want to say thank you for all the times that you guys have referred a like-minded friend or referred somebody who might be interested in this sort of content. That means the world to us. That's how we get our podcast ranked. So if you guys could, maybe do that for us, if you appreciated the content today, give us a little shout, refer us a friend. That's all we ask. We're not asking to buy anything. We're not asking you, to come to pay $100 to come see us or whatever the fuck it, other people do. So thanks guys. We will have Thursday Thunder on Thursday and we'll see you then. What's up guys? You're listening to the MFCEO Project, Thursday Thunder. I'm Andy. I'm your host and I am the motherfucking CEO. Guys, I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to keep it sweet. Here's the deal. You want to know why most people can never get anywhere in life? Why most people never live, never experience, never build, never do anything worthwhile in life besides be an average motherfucker and let me know, an average broke motherfucker? You know why? Because most people's egos are so fucking inflated and so fragile that they won't allow people to see them be bad at something. Okay? Let that sink in. You've never done something before. You expect yourself to be awesome at it. You haven't done the work. You haven't put in the time. You haven't put in the study hours. You haven't had the experience, but you expect to be good. And because you expect to be good, but you know you're not going to be good, you don't do anything. Explain that shit to me. Okay? You want to be somebody who succeeds. You want to be somebody who builds something. You want to be somebody who people write fucking books about one day. You are going to have to be okay with being bad at shit for a long fucking time. When I first started in business, I didn't even know what the fuck I was selling. Okay, I remember the first person coming in. They came in for a product that it was called Cell Tech by a company called Muscle Tech. They came in, the dude obviously didn't buy it. It wasn't our first sale. He came in and asked me about it. I didn't even know what the fuck it was, okay? But I didn't care because I was going to figure it out. All right? And that's the mentality you guys have to have. You have to be okay with looking like an idiot for a long fucking time. And a lot of you guys, you'd rather be too cool for school. You'd rather be the cool kids at the fucking high school lunch table than be the person who actually goes out, takes a leap of faith, decides they're going to try something new, and actually becomes an expert at it over time. Guys, you have to be okay not being good at shit, all right? Every valuable fucking lesson that you're going to come across in your life is going to come from you fucking something up, aka failing, all right? And I hate failing as much as the next guy. Dude, I probably hold the record for the most broken fucking Nintendo controllers on the face of the earth because I hate losing. And if I ever find the person that wrote fucking Zelda, they're going to get a knuckle sandwich because I can never beat that fucking game. But that's the point, okay? I hate to lose. But the thing is that once you understand that every time you lose is an opportunity for you to not only learn that lesson, but take it a +1 step. Okay, listen to what I just said. A +1 step past the lesson, you'll start to appreciate those lessons. You'll start to be okay with not being good at shit. Guys, you don't want to be the guy that we talk about on the podcast who's 37 years old, living in mom's basement, yelling at her for a fucking Hot Pocket, okay? You trolling people on the internet. You don't want to be that guy. And if you don't want to be that guy, you're going to have to understand that losing is a part of ultimately winning. You're going to lose a lot more than you fucking win. And when you win, you're going to figure out how to get better on top of it. If you're a true winner, they don't celebrate their wins. True winners take the win and they say, how could I have even gotten better? How could I have ran the score up? How could I have won by twice as many points? So you never really feel like you win. And you have to be okay with that. Okay? There's not one thing that I don't look at in my life and say, man, how could I get better at that? How could I win at that? How could I run the score up on that? That's how much I love to win. But I look at every single loss. I've learned to look at every single loss as an opportunity of how to win more. And that's what you need to do too. You don't look at it like, hey, everybody's going to point and laugh. And they might point and laugh. I could fucking tell you a list a mile long of people who have told me, Andy, you still got that little vitamin shop? Andy, what are you trying to be? Tony Robbins? Andy, when are you going to get a real job? Those are the same motherfuckers asking me for fucking jobs now. All right? You guys have to understand that if you are willing to be bad at shit, you will have the last laugh on these same people that we're talking about. All right? So quit letting people stand in your way. Quit letting you stand in your way and understand that you are going to be bad as shit. You're going to suck. Nobody comes out of the vagina and is a fucking CEO on boss level status. It just doesn't happen. Elon Musk didn't come out of being born and he was Elon Musk. Gary Vaynerchuk didn't become Gary Vaynerchuk when he was fucking born. Those come from learning lessons, putting in the time, and not being afraid to be laughed at. All right, guys? So check your fucking ego at the door if you ever want to be successful. People are going to laugh at you. People are going to fucking point at you. People are going to make fun of you. But if you understand that losing and getting laughed at and all these things, and you understand how to use those things to improve and get better, you're going to have the last fucking laugh.